Hey, crew. It's me, Shelby. Welcome back to House Parties.
Hello, crew. It's Dan. Welcome to House Parties. Why are we doing it this way?
I don't know. It just seemed like fun. Just kidding, guys. If you're meeting for the first time, I don't talk like that. It's almost Thanksgiving. Your last house party.
8 days till Thanksgiving, which we love Thanksgiving time. What's something you're thinking about that you're thankful for right now, Shelby?
We know, actually, we did this in the middle school video, and I didn't think of these things, but I am really excited for all the movies coming out.
Ooh, valid.
I'm a little behind. I still haven't seen Wicked Part 1.
You never watched Wicked?
I didn't watch Wicked. I tried to get people to go with me last Thanksgiving, and everyone in my family wouldn't go with me. My mom was like, call your friend. And yeah, we never went. So anyway, I'm really excited about all the movies coming out. I'm thrilled, utterly thrilled.
I'm thankful for my wife and my children.
What?
You know, real things in my life. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm also excited for the 8th graders. I love the 8th graders.
Yeah. Just be clear, just because we don't say we're thankful for something doesn't mean we are. But yeah, I was thinking about my family, and I was thinking about this today. I told the middle school this too. I dropped my kids off, and I walked back in my house, and I was opening my front door to my house, and I was thinking about all the things I need to clean for house parties tonight. And then I was like, you know what? There was a time when I prayed, and Michelle and I were praying that we could have a home where we could host people, where we could have people over, where we could make it comfortable for other people to hang out and hopefully hear about Jesus. And I just had a moment as I was opening the door being like, I have that. Like, God has blessed me in a way that I have a home that I can do that. And I'm so thankful for that. So lots to be thankful for. Also thankful for the mashed potatoes and the mac and cheese and the green bean casserole I'm going to eat next week. Oh, I love Thanksgiving food. Are you going to sing or?
All right. Since the opportunity's here, you guys might actually remember this. None of the middle schoolers would be able to remember this because they didn't have phones, but I know that Braylon will remember this and maybe some other people in there. I don't know. A long time ago, we had a podcast. It's dead now, buried. Nope, it's dead. It's dead. It's dead. He said he's going to bring it back like he knows how to do it. All right, anyway, here's my original Thanksgiving song. Green beans in my belly, yeah. Green beans in my belly, yeah.
So much soul in there.
And that's my Thanksgiving song.
Turned with the cafe voice as well. All right, back to it, though. We're finishing up our series, What If It's True, okay? And we have been looking at all month long, just some things Jesus said to us and called us to do that are difficult, maybe a little crazy, very upside down or backwards as the world would see. And so we talked about how Jesus said that he's the place to come to for rest. We talked about how Jesus called us to pick up our cross, to carry it. We've been talking about that all month long on Sunday mornings, too. It's a difficult and a bold call to action, but that's what Jesus calls us to, and that's where he says it's the best life. And so this week we want to wrap up with another one of the crazy things Jesus said that would have been so backwards, and that's that Jesus calls us to love our enemies, to actually care for the people who are difficult, the people who are against us. He calls us to actually love them, even the most difficult type of people. Is there a type of person, Shelby, that you find yourself just like, I don't know that I get along with those type of people?
Once upon a time, I showed up on the scene, fresh little 20-year-old me, and people would be like, hey, what should I do with this? And I'd be like, oh, you should do this. And then they would turn around and ask Dan the same question. So that's a hard person for me to get along with. People that ask double questions. I'm like, bro, Dan and I literally share a brain. You don't have to ask him to. We're together. And most people have figured it out by now. I think I've built up some trust. You know, my leadership has a little more influence.
Weight to it, yeah.
Yeah, but
I see what you're saying. It feels like they don't trust you. It feels like they're going, I was really just asking you because Dan wasn't here, and now that he's here, I don't care what you have to say.
Yeah.
Okay,
so God
difficult.
He really just took what are the big clippers for yard work? He was like really in there with the clippers.
Shears?
Yeah. Whatever, like a big, scary gardening tool, he was in my heart with those.
Cut it right out. Yeah. I love that. I think that I struggle with people who are a little bit arrogant. I think that I have this big urge in me when someone thinks highly of themselves to knock them down and to tear them down. And that as we're going to learn, is not the way to go. There are definitely people in our life that are difficult to love and difficult to get along with. And then there's people in our lives that are easy and that we get along with well and we become friends with quickly. You guys have probably had that where you meet someone and you're quickly like, oh my word, we're going to be great friends. And there's also those people you meet, you're like, I don't like you. It took me about 30 seconds to understand that, maybe less. And I think here's what we're going to talk about. Jesus tells us a different kind of truth. Instead of the way that we feel or the way that like we immediately want to feel about people, Jesus tells us this. I like the way that he said it when he taught it. He said, hey, you heard it one way. I'm going to tell you a new, truthful, real way. He said, you heard, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. In other words, love the people that's easy to get along with, who care for you, who are there for you. Hate the people who oppose you and who are against you, who want to tear you down. And then Jesus says, but I tell you instead, love your enemies, right? Care for those people, pray for those people, be there for those people. And so it's very opposite where our culture and our world would say, hey, if that person's not with you, if they're against you in any way, shape, or form, just cut them off, cancel them, get them out of your life. Where Jesus actually says, opposite, lean into that with love and care for those people. And if Jesus is the truth and he speaks the truth, and if he's the way to a real full life, and Jesus loves like this, that becomes the standard for us to love as well.
Yeah, I think our natural like inclination in the way that, you know, like our humanness leans is to want to get revenge or to hold a grudge. I think something I've been thinking about a lot lately is like if I hold on to my anger and I talk about it more, then it means the hurt that I feel was real. Like the more people hear it and affirm that like what someone did to me was wrong, the better I feel. Almost like it gives it like validity, if that makes sense. Like I feel better about the way I feel if you tell me it's right for me to be angry. So then I end up holding on to my anger and I end up gossiping. And I think that, you know, there's that cheesy saying where, you know, being angry with you or holding a grudge against you is like me drinking poison and hoping that it kills you. It's like it's allowing this anger to just stay in me and I think about it all the time and it's always on my mind. And I think that it's like this good thing because it's going to make you feel bad for what you did to me. But in the long run, it's doing nothing to you. And it is making me a really ugly version of myself.
I think that's super well said. I think that is why we hold on to things, because if I let it go, if I forgive, if I love this enemy, in my brain, it means that what you did, what you said, how you acted is actually okay and fine, and I'm just going to let it go. But Jesus is just telling us the opposite, and that's that when we hold on to it and we grip it like that, it actually hurts us, and it keeps us from finding a full life, where when we love those people and when we forgive and when we let, not let them go, but when we move beyond that to like loving difficult people and caring for them, Jesus is like, hey, that's when you really heal, and that's when things happen in your life. And Jesus demonstrated it and set the peak example, right? Like, let's be real. Who's the biggest op we have? It's someone who said something about us or did something not insignificant, not to demean things, but like nobody has murdered you. You know, you're alive watching this video. Jesus actually hung on the cross where they wrongfully and unjustifiably like murdered him. And he was still loving and caring and forgiving of those people who were literally standing in front of him who had just murdered him. And so he set the ultimate example. And so here's the thing. If we can just do a fraction of that, because you're not Jesus, I'm not Jesus, I'm not going to love people that well. But Jesus is setting an example for us and telling us that, hey, this is what's true, that when we actually love our enemies, it leads us to a full life and what he has for us. And so if you and I can just take a fraction of what Jesus did and love the difficult people in our life, forgive, and just love, pray for, and care for even the people that oppose us sometimes, we begin to shift culture in a major and incredible way, right? When we just continue what the world's doing and we just keep this ongoing thing of like, if you wrong me, I cut you off. I never want to speak to you again. I'm against you and I'm trying to hurt you back because, you know, hurt people. And when I respond to hurt with more hurt, I'm just perpetuating what we are already living in. And I don't know about you. We can look around at your school. You can look around at the world and go, hey, that's not working that great. In fact, it's leading us to just more hurt and more pain and more sin. And instead, Jesus is like, what if we shift the culture? What if we disrupt that and you and I meet opposition and meet hurt with love and care and forgiveness? And just imagine what a group of students who want to do that. Imagine what you would bring to your school if that's how you responded to your enemies, quote unquote, to those people. If you responded with love instead of revenge or bitterness or a grudge.
So, what would life look like if you took one step towards that person? If you prayed for one person who feels like an enemy, or you did one kind thing for someone that you avoid, or if you replace gossip with encouragement, or maybe you take the step and you apologize first. How different would your life look? How different would your school look, your family look? I think everyone's life would be entirely changed.
Yeah. And this is what Jesus is calling us to do. And remember, we started this in John 14:6, right? That Jesus claims he is the way, he is the truth, he is the life. Following him, knowing him, trusting him is the way to a full life. He's the truth. What he's saying is real, and we can trust it, and he will bring us to that full life. And here's the best part. It sounds overwhelming, and it sounds super difficult, and it sounds to a certain degree impossible. And I think that's because on our own strength and by our own ability, living like this is like, there's no way you and I can do it. There's no way that we can handle this. There's no way that we can live out what Jesus did perfectly. And that's the best part of all of this, is that Jesus isn't telling us to do something to get after it, that we better perform. Jesus is instead saying, hey, come be with me and I'll be with you. And then this will just flow out of you. And so here's the best part. Loving our enemies is difficult, but Jesus promises to be with us, to strengthen us, and to empower us every step of the way. So you're going to head to small group, go talk about, without getting too angry, who those people in your life are who are difficult. And then, hey, what can you do this week, this month, this year in your life to love those difficult people in a way that Jesus calls us to? And then if we trust him and if it's true, how can that lead us to a full life?
Bye, guys. Happy last house party.
Happy Thanksgiving.